Probably the most important document in terms of the meat and the substance that it has, but one that you might not interact with on a day-to-day basis, would be your declaration. Declaration of covenants, conditions, and restrictions. Sometimes there's different words for it, but typically declarations is the term that's used. Now the declarations pretty much outlines the bundle of rights for the homeowners and for the association. So some examples, it's going to give the legal description of the community. We're a community that's governed by HOA. We're under 317A. We're run by a board of directors, blah, 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 right? It describes the common areas and the unit boundaries. So your plot map outlines it, but the declaration goes further, like that example that I gave you. The declaration of that community says, again, when it comes to mature trees, the association may or may not, right? So it outlines those maintenance responsibilities that you have and who's responsible for what. It defines who members are, which is pretty straightforward. It's an owner of a lot within the association. But then it gives those members their rights. And some of those rights that are listed in the declaration might be the right to lease their unit, might be the right to have pets, might be the right to use amenities in common areas, right? It lists those rights. It empowers the association to create assessments and how those assessments are, which are dues, and how those dues are to be paid. It creates architectural standards, and it usually empowers a board to create additional restrictions that don't conflict with this. So your declaration is usually your longest document. It's usually probably 20, 30 pages long, but it's a very important one to understand. And a lot of them read as a legal document, so sometimes it's tough to kind of get through it, but I would say if there's any document that you're going to spend time digesting, that's the one you should be looking at, your Declaration of Covenants. If you're wanting to amend the declarations, it's not easy. And it shouldn't be easy because it's an important document. So the declaration is filed with the county. To change or amend the declaration usually requires either 67 or 76. Those are usually the two numbers. An overwhelming majority of the members to approve a change. It usually also requires the mortgage holders to approve changes as well. So it's not an easy document to change. There was an amendment to HOA, if you're under Minnesota Common Interest Ownership Act in 2020, that made it easier. In 2020, I believe it was passed, that said that if you mail out a ballot for an amendment change to the declaration, and if you don't receive the ballot back within either 30 or 60 days, it's considered a consent. Huge. Huge, because no one reads their mail, if you even get the mail, right? So that just made it 1,000 times easier to get amendments passed.